Told y'all, we keep on coming out with more and more videos as Code Vein 2 gets closer to release, bro. And Gaming Bolt put out a video talk about the story of Code Vein 1 in 15 minutes. I know that they have already said that Code Vein 2 is going to be coming out in a separate universe or a separate story. But if we know anything about games, it's very possible that they are misleading us and it's going to be something that like segues into how it connects or something like that. We don't know. We don't know. You never know. Or they could have like little tidbits and knots and nods to the original. And maybe it's like an altered universe and it's not entirely different. Maybe it's like a separate like flip universe. I don't know. So I figured, why don't we go ahead and review the story for those that don't already know everything, and then we can refresh our memory, because it's been a while since I've played the game myself. I kind of just know all the major story beats. And yeah, so we got this video from Gaming Bolt. Code Vein 1 full story recap in under 15 minutes before you play Code Vein 2. You know, we're gonna pre-fire the light. Let's get in here.
We're gonna be honest, we did not expect Code Vein's story to be as good as it was when we first played it back in the day. The premise,
bro, I'm gonna be honest. We didn't expect anything of Code Vein back in the day. When that joint came out, we was just like, it's probably gonna be alright, right? And then you had the few people like me that was extremely excited just based off the trailer alone. I seen that nah, hold on. Also, just a little quick editor's note, like before the video. As of today of this video being released, you can download the Code Vein 2 character demo if you're on Steam. The demo does come out tomorrow on the 23rd if you're on every other platform, being PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. But if you're on computer, if you're on Steam, you can get the demo on the 22nd, which is the day that this video will be live. Just putting that out there for anybody that might not have known and has a little confusion from the little poster that they released saying it was going to come out on the 23rd. That's primarily just for the console versions of stuff. Basically, everything for PC is coming out like a day or two early. Even with the full release of the game, it says the 29th on Steam instead of the 30th. I'm gonna come back to this video. I know, sidetracking off rip. Tell me this shit wasn't iconic when it came out. Like, you just knew it was iconic from the intro alone. This was in one of the trailers? Bro, when this shit dropped, this was one of the trailers, bro. I made intros back in the day when people made, you know, YouTube intros and stuff like that. I made intros off this shit, bro. Tell me this shit didn't pop off and excite you. You see this, you're like, okay, I fucks with anime. I'm into anime. And then you learn it's a Souls-like. And then it's connected to God Eater. Like, bro, you can't look at this and say that it don't hit. And then, yep, the crying scenes. Bro. Oh my gosh, bro. Do y'all understand? I'm going to be no-lifing this game. Oh my gosh, bro, please tell me, please. Oh my gosh. It's like the old school CGI type shit for the animation. They low-key did this with Sword Art Online, Lost Song. Queen's Chambers. God, bro. That shit hits. Bro, that shit freaking hits. Oh my gosh. I just hope, I pray to God, I freaking hope that we don't get I just pray that we don't end up getting into a situation of these newer age games that come out and they don't have intros. It's just you load in, you have title screen. Don't give me just title screen. Please don't give me just title screen. Give me a fire ass intro. Keep it. And if you want to say it's an original thing, then just keep it original, I guess, bro. Please. I need that. Bro. I freaking need that. I'm sorry, I had to do it.
We were never happier to be proven wrong, though. And the story soon became the highlight of an experience that had us so invested in taking down the opponent in front of us, with every situation, given the context and the narrative weight, it needed to be impactful. With that being said, there was one minor issue that we face now. It was quite an elaborate tale, and a tad hard to remember considering the intervening years between its release and now. With a sequel that's
bro, we never knew, we never even thought we was getting a sequel, because we was like, okay, a couple years later we'll get a sequel. Nah, it never came.
Refresher, and those of you who haven't, an idea.
This got to be gaming's best kept secret, bro. Nobody ever expected a Code Vein 2. Nobody. Not a single person.
That Bandai Namco set us in is as fascinating as it is to us. It's time for a tale that's going to have you riveted from start to finish, so grab your snacks and go ahead and settle in. A world made by blood. It's a good idea to start with the game's premise and the events that led up to your time with it.
The mist.
At some point in humanity's future, an event called the Great Collapse tore through mankind's population. And in the chaos that followed, many individuals turned into revenants, beings that require a constant intake of blood in order to sustain their sanity, while enjoying special powers unique to them and often based on talents that they had as humans. Revenants come into being because of BOR, or biological organ regenerative parasites. These organisms are inserted into a corpse and attach themselves to the heart, taking control of every vital bodily function. However, understanding
the memories, bro. That's the intro right there.
Not how they gain the powers that set them apart. Thanks to the BOR parasites, the Revenants were nigh on immortal, with only the destruction of their hearts being a reliable.
However, every time you die, you're losing massive segments of your memory.
Way to put an end to one of them.
To the point you just forget what your goal is.
When a revenant.
That's basically what happened to the main character. You end up forgetting the entire purpose of why you even want to offset the queen. You're just like, hey, it's my innate, like, natural will to want to do this.
Is killed in the
you don't even have a conscious reason as to why anymore.
A glowing golden mist, while the parasite inside of them works to rebuild what was destroyed. That recovery is not always clean, though. Each return can strip away memories, and the player character is one of the clearest examples of how severe that loss can be. Most revenants were able to retain their thoughts and emotions, largely managing to coexist with humans as long as they were allowed to do so. A revenant who went too long without blood faced a far worse fate. Starvation could.
It's kind of cool, though. It's low-key reminds me of the ghouls in Fallout. Like, if they go too long without certain things, then they end up becoming feral. It's kind of like a tale as old as time. You know, you got vampires, they get more aggressive without blood or whatever.
Push them into becoming a loss.
Sometimes tropes aren't a bad thing. Sometimes tropes are tropes for a reason.
Leaving behind a mindless and a dangerous creature. As you can imagine, this was hardly a desirable outcome for anyone living in the world of Code Vein, though credit to you if you saw that coming. But the search for a potential cure to the Revenant's condition, or a peaceable solution to the problem of them losing their minds, came with unintended consequences. Operation.
Yo, tell him hit up the old man from the coffee shop in freaking in Tokyo Ghoul. He'll set him right. That's all you need.
This is where Gregorio Silva and his daughter Cruz enter.
That's all you need.
Gregorio was searching for a way to.
While it's on my mind, whoever you are out there that greenlit that god-awful Tokyo Ghoul game, I hope you have the worst bowel movements for the rest of time. I hope that every single time you eat your favorite food ever and you just salivate in just at the thought of the taste on your tongue, that you just have straight up bubble guts. Because why do we have a fire-ass manga / anime and not an amazing-ass game to go behind it? I'm tired of these developers getting a hold of these amazing series and just butchering it when it comes to the game development in the game department. Why do we allow them to do that? Y'all have the blueprint right there. Hack and slash, cool ass story. Y'all can have us play as the different characters or create our own character. Like, bro, it's a video game. There's endless amounts of creativity that you can have within the video game, and you decide to give us that bullshit slop? Sorry, I gotta say it for the people out there that love Tokyo Ghoul.
Revenants,
We have not been eating.
Blood springs, massive trees that produce blood beads, so revenants would no longer need to rely on human blood. The approach was never intended to be permanent, but it worked long enough to buy Gregorio valuable time. While he continued looking for a lasting solution, Cruz stood alongside him in both purpose and conviction. When it became clear that she had an exceptional compatibility with the BOR parasite, she chose to undergo experimentation herself, believing that putting her own body on the line was the surest way to support his work. That commitment, however, led straight to disaster. Cruz ultimately agreed to become the Queen of the Revenants by joining the Queen Project, putting herself through brutal, traumatic trials in service of her father's mission. The strain wrecked her body and destabilized
She low-key a
her
real
mind.
one for that, too.
Before long, she could no longer contain what she had become. With her power spiraling out of control, Gregorio was forced into an extreme response. He sealed the region behind the Red Mist and established the Jail of the Mists to keep unstable revenants contained away from the rest of the world. Inside the barrier, blood beads were rationed out as a substitute for human blood, a temporary measure meant to keep everyone from...
I low-key like how this game's main theme was like red and black, and then the next game is like gold and black and stuff, and like these whites. I like how the big ass crystals around the environment, it has that gold and black in it. So I don't know. See, that's what I'm saying. It could be some kind of correlation.
That fragile balance did not last. Blood beads began running short, and without a steady supply, it became harder to prevent revenants from deteriorating into the lost. By then, Cruz has already been consumed by her fate as the Revenant Queen. With containment failing and time running out, the only remaining answer was force. Operation Queenslayer was set in motion, gathering the most formidable revenants.
God, bro, this game was so anime.
Assault on Cruz. The campaign was brutal and costly, but the strike team eventually managed to push through, fighting alongside Jack.
Yo, I remember back when this game came out, it was still kind of before anime has became as widely accepted as it is now. And motherfuckers was really talking about some, nah, I'm not gonna play it. Like, what do I look like putting an anime game on my YouTube channel? Bro, are you serious? You judging something because it's art? Like, yeah, I guess art is there to be judged, but like, bro, you gonna not experience something just because it has a specific style, a stylization of it? That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. People really be that close-minded out there. Like that's just insane to me, bro. Like, open up your experiences, open up your mind. You just living a boring ass freaking life, bro. Y'all missing out on a fantastic game. Like, yeah, I guess if you go back nowadays, it probably doesn't hold up as much, and I probably enjoy it a lot more because of the nostalgic factor of it. But like, come on, dog. I remember I just seen the first couple trailers, whatever, and then when I finally got the game, that was just like a special moment. I was in my mom's house still. We talking 2018 or some shit. Still teenager. Just grinding that game, bro. Whenever I could, just grinding it whenever. I just remember it just felt good to have a high quality anime game. It was like you watched your passions finally get like a leg up, and now everybody is like super into anime and everything, and it feels like it's gone down in quality a lot. And then we got this rapidization, I don't know if that's the word, but we got this repetitive nature of these games that end up coming out, and they just really low quality. They just get people to buy it because it's anime, right? Like that, the hook, line, and sinker is it's anime, but it has no good story. There's no good gameplay on it, or it's just like regular ass graphic novel shit. Which graphic novel stuff can be cool. Don't get me wrong, graphic novel shit can be extremely cool. The problem is that the majority of them are extremely mediocre. And so So many anime games out there are just mediocre as hell. So when we got Code Vein, it was like, bro, step up, leg up. I might be crazy for saying this, but when we got Code Vein 1, for the anime community, it felt like we just got our Kingdom Hearts, dog. Like, we have not been eating as anime gamers, period. What, all we had was Naruto? Like, don't get me wrong, Naruto was great. Let some other people in there to eat, though. Naruto, Dragon Ball. Bro, where's my Yu Yu Hakusho game at? Last time we got one of those was PS2. Not that the PS2 era is bad, I'm just saying, it wasn't a fun game. Overcomplicated controls. That fighting game was dookie water, bro. So where's my Yu Yu Hakusho game at? Where's my actually fun to play explorative and maybe Dragon Ball Z Kakarot style Inuyasha game? I'm just saying. Like, we got so many other IP that could be selling bangers. And y'all could be selling millions, bro. How long did it take us to get this new Bleach fighting game? Rebirth of Souls? Like, dog. So when Code Vein came out, it was like, oh, you're a fan of Dark Souls. Yes, that's cool. It was also, hey, here's a high budget anime game you're probably gonna be able to enjoy a lot. You can freaking create your own character, and it has like this cool dark almost Victorian aesthetic to it with like decrepit cities, and you're just like, wow, this is pretty cool. Let me actually spend some time getting, sucked into this universe. It felt like one of the first major huge franchise anime games out there, being, non-franchise, being like Naruto, freaking Dragon Ball and stuff like that they always are going to get the high big bucks. So I'm just glad that Bandai decided to take a chance with this developer and let them cook, bro. Let them freaking cook. And it still seems to be an issue today. We still don't have freaking bangers on bangers and bangers in the anime space, bro. You gotta really cherry pick them bitches out. My Hero, for example, y'all stay losing, bro. My Hero is a fire freaking manga, bro. And we got some mediocre ass games. So I'm just saying, Code Vein 2 comes out, show some support, bro. Let people know that we still want these games. And use your voice, bro. Let other niggas know. Like, yeah, we like these. We like the big three. We like these other anime. Like, can we get some more now, please? Like, these games have been fire. I mean, these anime has been firing on top forever. But if y'all just keep showing love and giving them all the big bucks, we have no room for other contenders to come in there. Well, we got Solo Leveling game came out. Cool. That's great. The game is still low-key mediocre. I mean, hate me for saying it, but y'all just released a mobile game. Y'all released a mobile-like game, and it's nowhere on the quality of a game that we would actually want. I'm sorry to say, the Sword Art Online games have been dookie water for a long-ass time, bro. I mean, Lost Song was the last freaking good SAO game. Good. The other ones, they're okay. They're playable. They're not bad. I'm just saying, like, they're not great. Lost Song was the last great one. So I'm just saying, like, for the anime space, Code Vein is a huge dub just for that. Then you have it that it's a Souls-like, and it was the first anime Souls-like, kind of the first people out there to kind of take from that style in a sense. So I'm hoping Code Vein 2 can be the innovator and be the first Elden Ring. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Rutherford, your character lands the decisive blow that brings the queen down. The aftermath turns...
I'm sorry, I know I went off on a tangent, but like that shit is... Come on, bro.
Tragic almost immediately as the frenzy takes you hold, and Jack is forced to put you down before you become a threat yourself. After Cruz falls, her remaining power is separated into relics, each one a sealed fragment entrusted to select revenants who volunteer to become successors under Silva's oversight. They gain a portion of the Queen's strength, but the risk of collapse is always present, so every successor is watched closely for signs of losing control. Jack becomes the enforcer.
Oh, yeah, and isn't that the whole reason, like, your character is even alive or some shit? Is like, they should have actually died, but they got the Queen's blood or some shit like that within, technically in the start of the game or pre the prelude, but like before you actually take control. It's like in the opening cutscene or some shit, but you find out more about that towards the end of the game.
That system, known for spotting instability quickly and removing the threat.
And like her blood
escalate.
is what kept you alive.
Silva would set up the blood levy system in order to keep the revenants fed, thanks to the blood spring's supply drying up in the wake of Cruz's demise. It's in the midst of all of this intrigue that your character begins their adventure, devoid of the memories of Operation Queenslayer as they wake up in the jail of the Mists.
That was the start of like the freaking
Stripped of
demo.
any clear memories, you set
Create
out
your
with a simple
character in that
goal,
little spot.
finding a blood bead to survive. Early on, you face one of the lost, and defeating it allows you to.
You know, another thing that I like about Code Vein is the fact that it's an anime game that doesn't shy away from anime like tropes. Like, the characters are going to be eccentric. They're going to be extremely exaggerated. Like, we're playing an anime game. We don't want realism all the time. We want it to be anime like. There are a lot of, because again, bad anime games, right? There's a lot of anime games or games that follow an animation style and aesthetic, and it's like you're not exaggerating the characters as what they would be.
Playing its blood code, unlocking a new set of abilities in the process. Though you were once powerful enough to challenge the Revenant Queen herself, your rebirth has left you weakened, forcing you to rebuild your strength from the ground up. Not long into your trek for blood beads, you run into Io and Louis,
which is, you know, you get that, you get all that strength back by actually absorbing in all of those as you keep going through the game.
With you. Before long, you also link up with Mia Karnstein and her brother.
Shout out
Nicola,
Mia.
fellow revenants who fold into your
bro.
circle.
Mia had one of the best designs. That snow design and then the hat. Oh man, I love that.
Then a masked stranger appears out of nowhere and drops Nicola with a single ruthless blow. That encounter shakes something loose in your head. Bits of buried memory start clawing their way back, and the attacker is unmasked as Jack, a feared figure known for hunting down successors who are on the verge of losing themselves to the frenzy. His reputation as a revenant hunter makes him seem like a
it's tough because a lot of your enemies in the game really aren't enemies. They just people that turn rogue, or you don't have the memory to understand who they are, even if you knew them in your past.
But the story complicates what you just saw. The Nicola Jack killed was not the real one. As you press forward, your group eventually discovers the true Nicola still alive. The road then leads you to a successor who has already fallen, a twisted vessel carrying the relic tied to Cruz's
let this team cook, bro. They know how to write.
Your character takes the relic into themselves, revealing a rare compatibility with Cruz's blood that becomes a major turning point later on.
Because you have the Queen's blood inside
Karen,
of you.
Who's both a successor and Louis' sister. Jack's role also becomes clearer here. He's not simply a hunter, but someone tasked with keeping the successors contained and the relics under control. And he is backed by Eva Rue, a mysterious ally who adds a new layer of tension to everything unfolding.
I remember seeing her just like float down from the sky in the first game and thinking, oh shit, it's about to get real.
But the result of Karen's sacrifice. She took on the relic as a successor of the heart.
You know what's crazy is I heard a lot of people talk about how Code Vein 1 had bland environments. Bro, it's an apocalyptic world where people are mostly dead and the entire place is desolate. It's not going to be this booming, bright cities. Like, what are y'all talking about? I swear people would just be talking out the ass. Like, sometimes a place is meant to be decrepit for the purpose of the aesthetics of the story. Like, it's not always supposed to be populated with enemies and other people. Sometimes you go through an area and it's purposefully voided. It's devoid of life. Like, that's the point, you know? Like, oh man. It's kind of the same mentality that certain people have when, you know, they're just Elder Scrolls fans and then they go to play Fallout for the first time. They be sitting there like, I can't go into every house. Why is so many things boarded up? Why does everything look so destroyed? Nigga, because it's nuclear Fallout. That's why. The world isn't rebuilt. That it's dull. That's the point. It's nuclear Fallout. The best parts about it is not its insane exploration. It's the story building within the characters and the side quests. Like, that's the purpose of Fallout.
And slipped into dormancy.
You get to figure out why the place is as dangerous as it is. The creatures
remains above as her guardian, a pairing that feels as deliberate as it is grim. You soon discover that you possess the rare ability to calm successors who have succumbed to the lost.
Because
placing
you're
you
a
at the
successor
center of
yourself or
Jack's
something
efforts
like that.
to protect the relics and stop history from
I know
repeating
all of it
itself.
has to do with that
Still,
the fact that you have the
responsibility
queen's
comes with
blood within you.
complications. Even as you grow closer to your companions and uncover their roles in Operation Queenslayer, danger continues to follow at every turn. That
Damn.
danger takes shape.
Choreography
in
on
Juzo
point.
a scientist obsessed with exploiting revenant power to force a new path forward for humanity. His vision is deeply flawed, but his interface pushes the story into its final and
God,
most
bro,
volatile
the freaking
chapter,
designs.
a matter of successors. This is the point where taking stock of your relationships with the rest of the party becomes especially meaningful. Through quiet conversations and shared memories, the game reveals just how often survival in Code Vein's world requires living in shades of gray rather than clear right and wrong.
I mean,
Louis in
life is
particular
never just
embodies
right and
that
wrong in
conflict.
general.
He's a loyal ally to you, just as he once was to Cruz. He remained by her side as the experiments meant to fulfill her ideals slowly broke her down. When she pleaded for release, he was unable to grant it, incapable of killing someone he loved. Once events unraveled and blood was spilled, that single moment of inaction has haunted him, leaving him with a deep sense of regret over failing to stop the catastrophe before it began.
To be fair, how many of you would also be able to do that task?
Io's truth is uncovered in parallel. She was engineered as an attendant, a being created for one purpose, to support the successor she is linked to, which in her case is you. You also learn she is a clone of Cruz, sharing
But
the
she's
face and
only
traces of her
linked to you
presence,
because
while
of
struggling to
the
understand why
queen's
she exists
blood.
at all.
It
As the
all
story moves
starts
forward,
and ends with
you help
that.
her search for that answer and carve out an identity of her own. Each of your fellow party members is thus burdened with their own troubles and problems, along with possible solutions to those problems that deepen your bond with them as the story takes its course. As you move to intercept Juzo, the stakes stop being personal and turn existential. He's trying to reach Silva with a collection of relics. Because if
Damn,
those
bro, his
fragments are
design
allowed
is
to
so
fuse with Silva's
fucking
body,
cool.
They trigger the birth of the Skull King, a grotesque abomination with overwhelming strength.
You
Worse,
seen some of
the
those
chain
freaking
reaction
monsters
would
in the
not
damn
stay
trailers
contained.
for Code
The
Vein
nightmare
2?
beyond the red mist
My
would switch outward,
gosh, bro. I
unleashing
just know
horrors
we're
in
in for a
massive
treat.
numbers and turning the outside world into a slaughterhouse.
Just don't
You
have
managed
crazy
to derail
performance
what
issues
Juzo
off
was
rip.
attempting in the moment, but the damage is already done.
That's
Silva's
important in
collapse
our great
cannot
year of
be reversed,
2026.
And the Skull King emerges anyway. With no safer option available, your character chooses to face the monster directly, with the intent of taking on Silva's role and bearing the relics.
See, now
as a
that's God
successor
Eater
once the fight
right
is
there.
over. The clash only escalates. The relics destabilize mid-battle. The creature mutates again, and a final catastrophe takes shape in the form of a newly born queen. To truly end this crisis, you have to defeat that last transformation too.
You know
From
how
there,
freaking
the game's
hard
conclusion
that fought,
depends on
that
what
fight
you did
actually
earlier,
was?
not what you do in the final arena. Your ending is determined by how many successors you helped reclaim themselves by restoring their vestiges. That single thread of progress decides which of the three outcomes you receive. If you fail to rescue any of them, the finale turns to the worst possible scenario. You attempt to take in Silva's relic, the frenzy overwhelms you, putting you on the path to becoming lost. Louis stops it in the only way he can, by killing you before you fully lose yourself.
Yeah, and they were ready
It's a
for it too.
harsh, brutal ending, and it leaves the story with a sense of defeat rather than closure. If you restore some successors but leave others undone, the result is slightly less tragic. You successfully absorb Silva's relic and assume his role within the jail, and Io chooses to stay at your side. It's an improvement, but still a hollow victory. The most complete ending comes from saving every successor. In this version, Io steps forward and takes your place as the new Blood Queen, gathering all the relics into herself. She ultimately transforms into the Weeping Tree, creating a new source of blood beads, and brings hope back to the world. You and your companions are left with a blood bead containing her memories, a tool that allows you to help others beyond the Red Mist years later. This is widely regarded as the true ending, and aligns neatly with the foundation laid for the sequel.
See, that's what I was saying. It's like, I said this in my video a couple days ago. The way that they ended the first game, like actually ended the first game, it felt like they didn't need to continue like entirely off from like right where that left off. You can have its own world, you could say.
Dweller in the Dark version of that finale, you also need to recover every Eos vestige linked to Io. The The story continues.
Wait,
Although
what?
Code Vein 2 is Vestige, Link, Dweller in the Dark version aligns neatly with the foundation laid for the sequel. For the full Dweller in the Dark version of that finale, you also need to recover every EOS vestige linked to EO. The story continues. Although Code Vein 2 is set a very long time into the future and has no connection to the first game's events, we're quite interested
So
to
they
know
say.
that your character in the new game also carries a moniker of the Revenant Hunter, a distinction that Jack held in the first game. It has us wondering if the new threats the game presents are going to involve the successors, or perhaps have us attempting to recruit them to our cause. We think that's a possibility since we know that the horrors are going to be a major part of the story, going all aggro on us after being influenced by a mysterious entity called the Luna Rapacious. Perhaps the Revenant Hunter moniker simply means that your character is just good at tracking down revenants who can help remedy the situation.
I'm just so curious why they decided to just do a whole new, like, because they could have extended it and I don't know, just had you be a different party within the universe, or they just, do something like, hey, there's been like years and years past and there's just a new threat, which is kind of what they're doing now, but they're just saying, hey, no connection to the first game.
Lou, a girl with the power to manipulate time, whose origins have us quite curious indeed. Could she somehow be connected to EO, inheriting her powers from the line of attendants and having them somehow distorted by whatever puts her in our path? It's definitely going to be an interesting time as we delve into the sequel later this month. And if the story on
God,
is as
bro,
good as the one that we've just
the end of the month cannot
it's gonna
come
be one
sooner,
hell of a
bro. This
tale.
is my most anticipated game for the
And
first
that'll be
half of
about
this
it for
year.
this one.
As
If
of
you
right
guys
now,
like what
outside
we're
of
doing
Resident
at Gameful,
Evil,
please consider
and
subscribing
then the
to
second
our
half of the
channel,
year is going to be
and I'll see you
GTA
guys on the next
6.
video.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, bro. That's the story. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I feel, it's just me, I feel like it's not technically a bad thing that we're getting an entirely new universe. I never thought it was going to be a bad thing. And even back then when I played the first like true ending for the first time, I was kind of still just like the volition of like, how are they going to continue this? You could just set it years in the future, copy the Dark Souls formula to a T, where each game is like way, way, way into the future, and they all technically are still within the same universe. And then you get Elden Ring, which is like a weird collaboration of the whole thing, especially with Night Ring, Elden Ring, Night Ring. I just feel like this has the potential to be great. Just give it a chance. If you are on the edge about getting Code Vein 2, just give it a chance, watch some reviewers or people like me that's like blindly excited to play the game, and then you form your thoughts on it, right? I get money is tight for everybody nowadays. Everybody is hyper analytical and hyper judgmental, especially now when it comes to people stepping on the toes of your favorite genre. But Code Vein 1 was a pleasant surprise, and I understand that it's very jarring to switch the art style but still keep the same aesthetic, and for them to switch up the story. So you almost feel let down and betrayed before the game even came out. But bro, just give it a chance. And if you're playing on Steam, that you have an even bigger incentive to give the game a chance, because Steam is fantastic when it comes to refunds, right? You could play the game for an hour or two and be like, I'm really not feeling this. Okay, return it. And then you can continue to watch other people play the game. And if you decide, after watching more people play the game, that this shit looks really dope and you want to experience it yourself, you can just buy the game again. Like, just throw $60, $70 to the side somewhere and just say, hey, I'm going to buy the base version of this game or deluxe or whatever. And just, if you're buying it on Steam, you definitely have access to play the game. If you're buying it on PlayStation, I don't know. I think PlayStation's freaking refund policy is like stupid as shit. You can't even open the game. The moment you open the game up, they're just like, you can't refund it. But Steam actually allows you to experience the game and decide for yourself, I don't really like this. So, and I think similarly on Epic Games as well, but I don't know if this is coming to Epic. So, yeah, anyways, Code Vein 2, that's the story of Code Vein 1 and how it sorta, kinda might lead into Code Vein 2. Again, I know that they're saying all this stuff in marketing, and that's the thing. People lie in marketing. They find colorful ways with their language to tell you bullshit. with marketing. It's not connected. It's this. And then we play through the game and then we realize that it's actually connected to the first game. And it might be like brand new characters or re-envisionings of characters. And then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, bitches. It is connected to the first game. I should have played it. So that's why I wanted to get this video out here, so that way if you've never experienced it, you can at least kind of understand the building blocks of what Code Vein is and why it was so special and monumental at the time that it came out in 2017 / like 2018 and shit, and why the majority of the people in the anime community kind of, you know, welcome in Code Vein as a franchise. And now that we're getting a sequel, you know, I get that people are skeptical. Just give it a chance though. And again, if you're playing on PC, you have even more of a reason to give it a chance. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. You guys stay safe out there. I'll catch you on the next one. Be safe, because the world is a crazy ass place. Peace.
Lights down low, but spirits so high. Game controller in hand, ready to fly. The night's a playground where time stands still. In this cozy nook, let's get our thrill. Pencils shining bright in the midnight glow. Leveling up in a world we know. Laughing together as the hours drift by. In this gaming sanctuary we touch the sky.